What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Officer Show. Today we're looking at the Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse figures. So we have another wave of figures here. So first starting out from New Eternia, we have Stratos. Then switching over to Revelations, we've got Evil-lyn in her like goddess form, whatever. That looks cool with the all like bat uniform. And continue on with Revelation, we've got Roboto. Following up with Princess of Power, Frosta, which looks cool. I think her design looks awesome. So we have 4 new figures here to look at today, and all of them look pretty cool, all kind of different and unique. So I'm excited to look at them. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Stratos, which was always one of my favorite characters from Masters of the Universe when I watched the 2000X series. So I think he looks really cool here. And he's a part of the new Eternia line. So that means he's got the classic inspiration-like design to him, but with more modern updates. And I like with these because you can remove those modern things to make him look classic. And overall, he looks pretty cool here and pretty much just like Stratos we've seen. But he's the leader of the bird people of Avion, located in the Mystic Mountains. And he's a close ally of He-Man that serves as a spy for the heroic warriors through the use of powers of flight, aerial acrobatic skills, and sharp bird eyes. So overall, he looks cool. Like I said, always was one of my favorite characters and looks pretty awesome here. So he's got the all gray skin, which I like that it's, got this fur all running through it. So all over the body, he's got this gray fur design that looks pretty cool. Again, running just completely through the body there. And then he's a bird people. So he's got the bird wings. So he's got, the bird wings on his arms, much like the classic toy, the little wing pieces that attach on there to give him the feathers and stuff. So that is pretty cool. And then he's got the face that's supposed to be bird beakish. This doesn't look as beakish. It looks, pretty just human face, but still the big bird eyes, but it could just be connecting in with his helmet and stuff. So he's got the red helmet with the blue design around it, but then like the humanoid looking mouth with the gray fur all around it there once again. Then he's got this red feather thing around his neck, which again is a new thing with the blue harness or whatever. So he's always had the blue harness. This is just a little bit of a different design with this tubing that connects in the back and goes around to the front. That's supposed to be like a breather thing, and with some of his accessories you'll see more of that function. But he's got the classic belt around the waist with, instead of fur, he's got the blue feathers, so that looks cool. So he's like the blue and red combination here, and then the gray fur going down the legs all the way to the feet, where he's got more like bird-like toes or just claw toes, whatever there, as well as clawed hands there. So looks pretty cool overall. Like I like the combination of the gray base body, it keeps it sort of plain, and then the red and blue stands out and pops a lot on the figure. So overall he looks really cool. So let's do his movement. So his head can twist all the way around there. A little bit difficulties with this beard like catching on the feathers, but then he can rock up and down. Again, very little movement in these figures, so just a little bit back and forth. But we get the shoulders that can come up. Of course, you have to worry about all the feathers, so come up to 90, and of course can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, these double elbow joint that I don't know how well it's going to bend with all the bands and stuff, but it can bend at least that far, which is really good. Then we get the wrist that can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Again, with this piece, it's kind of deep in there, so you don't get as much range of movement. We have an ab crunch in here, so he can crunch back and forth. It's real stiff, so he can crunch back more than anything, but a little bit back and forth. And he should have a little bit of twisting side to side. Of course, these figures never really twist too much, but they do twist all the way around at the waist. Then we get the hips that can come up, so pretty much to 90 if you force it up. Yeah, it can come up to 90 there, and then out to the side he can do the splits. We get a thigh twist up in there, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, almost kicking his butt. Shin twist there in the middle of the leg, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So he's got pretty good range, and we'll see that very similar movements with all the figures, especially the males. Have some issues with like the feathers on the arms. They just kind of float around. Thankfully, they have the cuff around the wrist, so that kind of keeps it stationary. And then it has a connection piece in here that allows it to bend and rock back and forth. So you just have this upper piece that just kind of floats around, but it's got the ring on there to keep it, on the arm, so it just doesn't fall off or anything. But yeah, you can see it's got the little joint back in there to keep it hooked together, and it hinges back and forth. So that's pretty neat. So it allows you to still bend the elbows and the feathers sort of stay with it and everything. So that's pretty cool. But then he has some accessories. So first we get some additional hands. So he has just some open like flat palm hands, whatever you want with those, again with like the claws on them and stuff. So pretty cool, but not really necessary. The grip hands that he has are just fine enough for him. Part of more classic stuff for Stratos is that he has a backpack as well, or like a jetpack. So he has this jetpack design, which is pretty cool, that we can put onto his back. And of course the jetpack just increases his speed while flying. So with this, you have this design, and the things up top do stick up there, so that's how you know you have it. But you just sort of push in till you get it all the way in, and then you can slide it down and it'll kind of like click it right in there, so it keeps it on his back. So there, now he's got the little jetpack so he can fly around even faster. As I mentioned, he has this piece on the front of him here that's for a breathing apparatus. So we have this, so we have the little connection piece that goes into the hole there, and then we have this that can go around his mouth, which adds more of that bird beak design. So we'll have to try and get this on. I think you have to pop his head off and try and get this worked up on his face and then pop it back on. So let me try that. So there's the breather on his face, and I think it looks pretty cool. You know, it adds more of that bird design. I just wish it was a different color. I don't like that dark blue color too much. But then, like I said, you just take this little plug piece and stick it down here in like his little belt section, and there he's got the breather on now. So now he's ready for higher flight. So again, adding more to that new Eternia style with the more modern update with the breather and stuff, you know, that bird-like design. And it was pretty easy popping the head off and then just sliding it pretty much up and getting it up around his helmet there, and it sticks on his face pretty well, so no major issues there. And finally, he comes with a staff that has like this green egg on the end of it. I don't know what this is. Like, I tried looking up and couldn't really find anything, but it looks pretty cool. So this all gold staff with the egg on top looks awesome, so we can put this in his hand. So there, Stratos has that staff. Again, don't know what it's supposed to be, but it looks pretty cool. So overall, he looks awesome there. But again, with it being the new Eternia, we can sort of take some of the clutter off to make him look like the classic design. So we're gonna have to take the breather mask off, take the feather piece off, and remove the contraption down here that again just plugs into his back here. So let's get that off. So there, without all that clutter, we have the basic Stratos now. So there, it looks just almost like the original figure with just the red feathers on the arm and the blue harness on his chest. That again looks very much like that original figure. So again, another reason why I love the new Eternia, because now we have pretty much a classic looking figure here for Stratos in the Masterverse line, which is really cool. But we have all those extra things to make it look cool. Like, I think I like this thing around his neck a lot more, all these feathers. I think it adds a little bit more with the red details and stuff, but everything else, like the extra breather stuff, we don't really need. But I think he looks awesome just the way he is here, but also with the other stuff, I think he looks really cool. So either way, I don't have an issue with him. I think he looks awesome either way, but pretty awesome here for a Stratos figure. And then we have Evil-lyn from Masters of the Universe Revelations from part 2 of season 1, where she became the evil sorceress of Castle Grayskull. And so in the show, with Skeletor in control of the Sword of Power, he makes Evil-lyn the new sorceress of Castle Grayskull, which increases her powers, but it also keeps her bound to the castle. So she realized she's pretty much been imprisoned by Skeletor and kind of plots against him. But she looks awesome here, so much like the sorceress with like the bird design and everything. And as cool as that sort of looks, she looks awesome here with her design where it's got the bat features. So she's got the bat up on her head, so it looks very cool with the like big long fang teeth, the yellow eyes, the purple nose. So I always love that design on the bats with the big ears, so that looks really cool, feeding down into the big fur blue color. That looks really awesome. So the blue like stands out on the body, especially with all like the black and purple and stuff. She's got the purple cape hanging down in the back that's got sort of like that bat wing design to it. Then she's got the new outfit, which is a lot of black, but then also has like some hole designs into it that I assume is supposed to be like a mesh material, almost like a pantyhose design that you can sort of see through. That's got like a purplish tint to it. Whatever it is, you can see it on their arms, there in their midsection, up on the upper thighs, on the lower thighs and stuff, and even some nice blue there right before it goes into the black boots. So I like that design. And then the cape does have the little bands on it, so you can wrap it around her arms, so she can put her arms out to have the wings there, which is pretty cool. And then has the painted fingernails. So overall, I think she looks awesome. There's some paint issues you can see there on her chest, and there's a little bit on her forearm there as well. So it looks like they got it a little bit messy with the skin color paint, but overall, she just looks awesome. I love this design for her. It looks really cool. Now for movement, she will have some issues, especially in the head. So her head pretty much doesn't move at all because her hair now sort of goes in and sticks into this blue piece, and that's what's keeping it up on her body, is that sort of stuck down in her hair. So with that on, you don't get really any movement, just a little bit of twisting side to side is all you get. So you can't take the cape off, so take the blue piece off with the cape, and then you can just have her head that way. But I like it all attached, and I have it all set up and attached and stuff, so I don't want to have to undo this all just to do some head movements. But overall, it's going to be about the same as the others. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate around. Of course, can't rotate all the way around with this collar piece on, but we get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far at least. Of course, it's hitting the blue everywhere, so you can't get up any further. The wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. We have the upright crunch, so crunch back and forth there at the chest with a little bit of twisting around, and then she twists all the way around at the waist. And unfortunately, the lines don't match up here. I don't know if it's supposed to be a certain design, but as you see, no matter what you do, it doesn't line up, so it's always sort of off there. The hips can come up to 90, and out to the side she can do the splits. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far. She's pretty much kicking her butt. Shin twist out the top of the boot, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So pretty good movements once again for the figures. Has the same body as all the female figures, and of course we'll see that more with the Frosta coming up later. So overall not bad, you know, has pretty much as good movements as she could, and overall I love the design, especially with the cape doing like the bat wings and stuff and the bat head on her. She just looks awesome. Now for accessories, she comes with additional hands, so we get a grip hand and an open sort of palm hand for like magic and with those painted fingernails. And of course she comes with her wand that she's had before, so we have like the crystal ball and so we have like the crystal ball on top of the wand there. Again, we've had things just like this before, and I like how it's sort of see-through there, so that looks cool that we can put into her hand. So there's Evil-lyn with her wand, and it looks really cool. And of course we have the earlier version in the show of Evil-lyn. So we have these two figures now of her from Revelation, so again more like her classic design and how she appeared earlier in the show, and then the later when she became the new sorceress. So pretty cool to have her. I definitely like the bat one more. Of course it's not that classic Evil-lyn look, but I still think it looks really cool, and it's an awesome design for a figure, so I really like that a lot more. And then we've got Roboto as well from the Revelation series, who was built by Man-at-Arms and saw him as his father figure. And when Duncan was banished by King Randor from the kingdom, Roboto left with Duncan. And later in the series, we see him join up with Tila and Evil-lyn when all the magic's gone to help reforge the Sword of Power. And they eventually find the two halves, and he's able to forge it back together. But then his core explodes, so he pretty much dies from it. Now, overall, I don't like the look of this figure, like just the colors of the like darker metallic blue, the burnt orange color and stuff. I just don't like the color and overall design of this figure. So this is one figure from Revelations I do not like this design of. Just do not prefer this for Roboto at all. So it kind of stinks in that aspect. But overall it's cool to have Roboto. Like I said, just don't prefer this look for him. But it's cool that he has like the see-through center, so you can see like the inner mechanics and workings of him and stuff, and the overall see-through body in there. But like I said, he's got the color of like the burnt orange, so up here on like his face piece, on his forearms and legs. Even got some maroon colors here in the midsection, and then that metallic dark blue on his arms, and the big clunky boots that we saw on Hero recently. So overall he looks decent. Like overall, you know, it does look like a robot, but just don't like this design, mostly probably because of the colors. But let's do the movement. So his head can twist all the way around, and he can look down that far and up that far. So our best movement so far. And the little mouse section piece here does move. I don't really know why you would need it to move, but it does move up and down there. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist. The single elbow joint on this side, at least that's all we can get to move, is the single elbow joint for the upper section there. But with this arm it does have the double elbow. Pretty stiff, but you can get it to bend that far, so just a little over 90. Now the main reason is because this hand does have the separation here, so it has a twist around in here in the forearm, but it can separate out for some of the accessories and stuff. But the hand does also twist around and flex back and forth. No ab crunch or anything in the middle, but it does twist all the way around at the waist. The hips can come up a little, maybe about 45, and then out to the side he can do the splits. Thigh twist all the way around. A stiff double knee joint, but it can come up that far to the back. There's a shin twist at the top of the boot, but I can't really get it to twist all the way on, just a little bit of rocking back and forth. Then the foot itself can rock back and forth and twist side to side. So he doesn't have the best movements ever. He has a lot of limitations and not as good, and I have some issues getting him to stand. Like, it's not horrible, but I just have to fight with him to get him to stand. But overall he's not horrible, and like I said, with him being a robot, it's kind of expected for some limitations. But accessory wise, as I mentioned, we can switch his like hands out. So we have this hand where it's got like a cannon piece, or at least a wider blast cannon, and then a more like actual gun design. So again, you just pop his forearm off and can place either of these on there. Or as I mentioned in the show, he does combine the Sword of Power back together, so we do get the two halves of the sword, so you can put them in his hands if you want to have it like he's reforging it back together. So let's do that. So there, I tried my best to try and get the swords like pushed together so it can be like he's trying to reforge them, but it doesn't really work out too well. But that's probably about the best I can get it to go. But overall, pretty cool that we have Roboto from the series. You know, it's always good to get all the different characters and stuff with their looks, especially from Revelations. But overall, not the greatest, because like I said, I just hate the colors of this figure more than anything. And finally, we have Frosta from She-Ra, the Princess of Power, and she's known as Queen Mackenzie of Castle Chill from the Kingdom of Snow on Etheria, and she's an ice sorceress for the Great Rebellion, so on the good side, and is able to control ice and snow, as well as freeze any object or enemy and use a sheet of ice as transportation. So she's pretty cool here, especially with the sound of her powers, you know, just being like an ice power person, almost like Iceman from the X-Men. And then her overall design with the blue and white just looks really cool. And overall, I just really like the figure mostly for that look alone. So there's a look at her face. So it has the female face, lipstick, eyebrows, all that sort of stuff. But then she's got the blue hair, which is the translucent, especially as you get here more towards the bottom. You can see through it there. So they have some darker blue paint up top, and then let it go to the translucence, probably cast in there throughout the bottom and into the front here as well. So love that design. She's got the blue cape on the back, much like the other She-Ra figures have. And then she's got the dark blue outfit with the white design. So dark blue midsection with the white design with the little blue jewel, white gloves, and I like how it's like a pearlescent white, so it's got some shininess to it. White skirting with a metallic lighter blue there in the center, dark blue legs up top, and then white going down all the way to the feet. So overall, she just looks real cool. I love the colors of the blue and white and stuff. Just looks really nice, and the metallics and stuff going on just stand out a lot for her, and especially fits with her ice powers. But we can do her movements, so her head can twist a little side to side again with her hair like this. We don't get much, but she can look down that far and up that far, pretty much straight on. So not much movements with the head for her. Shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself pretty much. Wrist twist around and flex back and forth. Feels pretty stiff, but can flex back and forth. She's got the ab crunch right under her chest, so she can crunch back and forth. Again, very little crunching, but a little back and forth there, and twist side to side. And it's hidden under like her skirting piece, but she does have a waist and can twist all the way around there. The hips can come up about to 90 if you sort of force it up there, because of the skirting can get up to 90, and then out to the side can do the splits once again. We have a thigh twist that twists all the way around, pretty stiff double knee joint that can bend up that far, kicking her butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, the same female movements, much like that Evil-lyn and like the other She-Ra figures we've had so far. Now, accessory-wise, she comes with some additional hands, so she's got 2 grip hands on, so she comes with some open hands, probably for using some of her powers. Then she has some weapons. So first we have this like ice dagger thing, so this little piece you can put on her hand that's got a big chunk of ice with a point in it, so I like the white at the end going into that lighter blue-gray there towards the back, the see-throughness of it. So you can put this on her hand. I just assume you keep her hand in like the fist form there, and you go and just slide it on so it has the design in there, so you just slide it in that whole piece, so you just slide it on and it should keep it in our hand with that. So there she's got this big ice dagger now, so she's ready to like stab people, which is kind of crazy. And then we have this thing that's like a giant pinwheel almost, but like an ice pinwheel with this design up top. It spins around and stuff, so that's why I say it's like a pinwheel or like a fan blade. Maybe it blows snow and stuff, but it's just this long staff, so a staff of some sort for her. So let's put this in her other hand. So there's Frosta with her 2 weapons, and I think it looks cool. Again, don't know what this does exactly, but I like the staff design of it. It's just a really cool design. And then the spear there on her hand looks pretty cool as well. So overall, that looks pretty awesome there for Frosta, showing off her ice powers and everything. And since she is from She-Ra, we do also have She-Ra here to bring in there and put with her, since they are on the same side. So we have She-Ra and Frosta now there together, so they can hang out and be friends and then fight some bad guys at the same time. So Frosta overall is a really cool figure. I do really like this design. Well, there's the new wave of the Mattel Masters and Universe Masterverse line, where from New Eternia we got Stratos, from Revelations we got Roboto and Evil-lyn, and then from Princess of Power we got Frosta. So all the figures are pretty cool. I do like a lot of these. Roboto is my only disappointment, but all the others are really cool, and I like these figures a lot. So the Stratos, Frosta, and Evil-lyn are high recommends for me. The Roboto, like I said, if you like this design, go ahead and get it, but I just hate the colors. So just that alone just makes me not like this Roboto. I'm sure we'll get another one in the future that I like much more, but overall, pretty good figures, and I can't complain too much about them. They have all the same Masterverse movements, so if you've dealt with them before, it's going to be all pretty much the same. Just have the different looks that I like a lot, especially the Stratos, just having it with the new Eternia line, with the new additional features, but then having this classic look I have in here is just really cool. So he's definitely by far my favorite. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.